Hi and welcome to episode 38 of the Beks Creates podcast. My name's Beks and I'm coming to you from what was half an hour ago a really bright sunny Bristol, and now all of a sudden it's grey and rainy, but hopefully it was just a passing shower because I can see some bright blue sky out there again. It was really warm. I went out at like 9:30 and it was 14 degrees, so spring is finally coming. Hooray. And yes, I live in Bristol with my husband Paul and our Norwegian forest cat Mufasa and our extraordinarily rapidly growing baby boy Bump. I have got lots to show you today, mainly baby stuff again, I am afraid, so apologies if that's a little boring, but it's just where I am at the moment, where my mojo is, and I'm really keen to share, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. So it might be a bit disjointed today because I've got some finished objects I can show you first, and then some I'm going to kind of show you as I go along because I'm kind of knitting something else to go with them, so it kind of makes more sense. So hopefully it'll flow nicely. I've not gotten much in the way of acquisitions, and I've got a lovely little baby gift that I've been given to show you as well. So yes, without further ado, let's crack on then. So you've been seeing me knit these socks for a few episodes now. Nice pair of magic heel socks. There are the heels. I did inadvertently manage to knit one of the legs longer than the other, but I'm really not worried, and I know the recipient won't be at all. I'm really pleased with these. The colours are so pretty. Sorry, the lighting's not great because it keeps changing. But the yarn is Vlogmas on a zebra base by Lay Family Yarn, and it's just so pretty, and I just love the zebra base. You'll see in a minute how much I love it. It's really nice to knit with. It's kind of got like a really nice sort of heavy drapey quality to it, so I'm really pleased with those. They're for quite big feet, so they took me quite a while, but only because I was picking them up and putting them back down again. They weren't, it wasn't an onerous task. So yeah, really pleased with those, and those need to be wrapped up, ready for their new owner as soon as possible. You'll have to excuse me if I'm out of breath. This baby is squishing my lungs, so any talking just makes me completely out of breath. So you must forgive me. My next finished object is just too cute. So you would have seen in the last episode I made a cardigan from this Julie Asselin yarn, which was in the Biarritz colourway. It's a DK, and I had lots left, so I thought I'd make a little hat. It's just so cute. So I based it on the numbers of the Magic Kofi hat, which is just my go-to. I think it's a free pattern, I'm not sure, but look it up on Ravelry, because like normally it has a little loop on the top, but I just thought I would add one of these really sweet mini pom-poms that I've got. These are the Trimmets ones, which are like, I think these are like $1.50 or something. They're really cheap, and they tie in with the ribbons. They can be taken off to be washed. Apologies for any background noise, Paul's just getting out the shower. And I also adapted it by twisting every other row of stitches to give it this nice sort of herringbone texture, which just kind of shakes it up a bit, makes it more interesting to knit, no other reason really. But I think that's so cute, I love it. This baby's gonna have a vast selection of hats, that's for sure. And then tomorrow I'm going to a baby shower, so I thought I better knit some bits for that. So I think I showed you the start of this last time. So I've made a bonbon bunny. I can't tell you how many of these I've made, so many, but it's such a lovely easy pattern. You kind of knit all the bits and then you join it together with the head and body, so it's really nice and secure. If it was sewn together I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't trust myself, but it's all knit together. I just love his big floppy limbs and his big floppy head and ears, so cute. The yarn I used, I'm still not sure, it's a Bird Street one, something autumnal, but I honestly can't remember the name, and it didn't have a band on because it was a bit of a second, so I'm not entirely sure, but we don't know what this baby is, so I thought I'd do it something nice and neutral in colour. So there's Bonbon, and then with the leftovers from the same ball of DK, which I've still got more left over, I made these cute tiny mittens. I think they're possibly too tiny, but they're sweet anyway. They can always go in a frame. So, oh, I forget the pattern I used, but it was a free, very simple one on Ravelry. These little things took like 20 minutes each, and then I just joined them together with an I-cord so it can go through their coat. But very, very sweet. I did it more for cuteness factor, to be honest. And then I made another hat the same way with the herringbone texture. Another Trimmets pom-pom, a little bit lighter grey on that one. So I'm really pleased with that. I thought that's a really cute little set for a gift. And I've got some really nice baby books to go with it as well. So happy with that. And I'll show you later, I've got the yarn to start our baby's Bonbon Bunny, which I'm really excited to do. So that will be one of my next few projects, I think. So let's dig in. I have no order what sequence these bags are in, so we shall see. The first one is a finished object and some dream knitting. So I showed you last time, these are the Matoto overalls, and I'll tell you more pattern details when I get to one of my whips, because I've got the pattern in there. Sorry, they're looking a bit creased now because they've been in the bag, but I'm so pleased with these. They're really, really cute. These, I think, were the 6 to 9 month size, or 6 to 12, something like that, one of the bigger sizes. I knit them in Drops Baby Merino, which always gives such a lovely fabric, and this was the petrol colour. There were a few bits of the pattern that I adapted slightly. So the straps were supposed to be just knit completely separately and then sewn on, but like I said before, I don't really trust my sewing, so I picked up stitches here and knit the strap, and then did a 3 needle bind off at this end, so they're knitted on rather than sewn on. And if I did this pattern, well, if I did this pattern again, I am doing this pattern again, I have plans to change the short row shaping. So there's short row shaping around here, and you can see it on there, and it actually went really holy. I think, without giving too much away, the short row method was, well, there wasn't really a short row method. You just turned it round and carried on knitting. There was no wrap and turn or pull the stitch up or anything like that. So yeah, it's just left holes, which I've pulled through, but you can't sew them in, they're not long enough, so they do just look a bit messy. So the ones, I'll talk about it a bit more in a minute, but the ones I'm doing, I'm going to do a different method. But I love how sort of wide and slouchy they are, and how like you've got this big like space for a nappy bum, and then the little legs. I'm gonna, at the next size I'm doing smaller, and I'm going to make a few other adaptations, so I'll show you that when I come to those. But I've got this in a bag because I'm planning, I've got some DK, this is Deep by Bird Street Yarn, which is one of my favourite colours, and I thought I'd make a little cardigan to go with those, because by the time he's in those it's going to be winter, so a nice DK cardi would be perfect with that. But haven't got around to starting that yet. I have barely done any knitting this week, to be honest. Work has been so crazy busy. I've only got 4 weeks left, but yeah, it's just been so busy, and I've done like some later evenings, and then I get home and I'm too tired to knit, and yeah, it just takes over really. So yeah, I'm hoping, well, 2 weeks time is Easter holidays. I'm going to put my feet up and knit most of the way through, and then I've got another 2 weeks of work, and then I've got 5 weeks, fingers crossed, of mat leave. So all the knitting time, that is the plan anyway. Okay, my next whip, in one of my favourite Well, this is a Bird Street bag, but it was a second because Claire forgot to sew a label into it. But I love this fabric, and I love even more the lining fabric. I'm a sucker for a neon, you know I am. Which actually leads nicely onto what is in here. Oh my goodness, I had forgotten that I'd started this. In fact, what is it? Oh, I know what it is. Oh my God. Baby brain. I started this a couple of weeks ago. So a couple of weeks ago I showed you a little romper that I had knit in this yarn, which was one that kind of never really made it to the Bird Street shelves, but I loved it, so I nabbed it. And I'm making a little hat to match. This is the Barley Light hat by Tin Can Knit. So it's got this panel of garter and the rest is just a little stockinette, sort of beanie style hat. Yeah, started that. I did that in one sitting and then forgot, but there we go. Yes, and the reason it's in this bag is because I've also got the rest of the yarn from the overalls that I was going to make another hat with. I'm just trying to like use up what I've started, like use up bits of yarn, because baby stuff takes so little, by making hats and bits and pieces to go with it really. So just trying to be nice and economical with my yarn really. So yeah, that's a really good pattern, because that one, as with a lot of Tin Can Knits patterns, comes in loads of sizes. I can't remember off the top of my head now, and I don't have the pattern in here because I was knitting it off of my phone. But yeah, it comes in loads of different sizes, so I can knit in quite a few. And this one's a fingering weight hat, so it'd be good to have a few lighter weight hats, as well as like, you know, chunkier, warmer DK ones. So I just got to kind of make sure that I'm knitting the right weights in the right sizes, so he's got warm hats when he needs them and not quite as warm ones when he's tiny in the summer. Honestly, these babies grow too fast, don't they? Right, next one in, this is an old school Bird Street UK bag with llamas and cacti on it. It's very fun. In here is my next pair of Matoto overalls. So let me show you the pattern first of all. I'll show you the name because I can't pronounce it. So there's the overalls. There's the name of the pattern, and then down there is the name of the designer. Sorry, it's not coming up very well. And this time I'm knitting the smallest size. So bearing in mind that baby will probably be born end of May, beginning of June. Sorry, stitches falling off the needles. I thought I might make some adjustments to these ones. So I've gotten this far. This is also Drops Baby Merino in the colour 10, which I think is called turquoise, but I can't be sure. Oh look, my nails match very pleasingly. Unplanned. This yarn's so good for this. And so yeah, I've just knitted the front and back, joined it together in the round, just knitting my way down now. And what I thought I would do is, to prevent the holes that I got in the other pair, I'm going to do probably German short rows, because they're my preferred kind of short rows, so we don't get those holes. I didn't see the need for that in that pattern. I don't know why that method was chosen, unless I've done it wrong, but I don't think I have. Followed the instructions. And I think also I might do either like no legs at all, just like do a little rib around the leg hole, or just like little short ones, so they're a bit cooler. But they're so sweet. They're going to be really nice, these. And I found some yarn from my stash, which is another Bird Street one, which I was given, and it was one of their test skeins for a limited edition yarn they did for the Oxford Yarn Store. So it's not the one that actually ended up being that skein of yarn, but it was one of the samples. So I just thought it was really pretty, and it goes really nicely with this colour. So I thought I would probably make him a little flax light jumper with short sleeves to go under this. So it's like a little outfit, but it's still cool enough for the summer. So the bigger size that I did used 2 and a tiny bit of these 50-gram balls. So I'm thinking these tiny ones will probably only take, well, no more than 2. That's what I've got left of the first ball. So I'm probably only halfway through that. And if I'm not doing the legs, I might even get out of 1, I don't know. If that's the case, I might knit the next size up in this colour as well, we'll see. Or something else. We'll see. I'm just hoping all these things that I'm knitting in multiple sizes, I hope like I like on him, like they fit nicely and they're like nice for him to wear, because if they're not, I can end up with loads of things that you can't wear. But hey, I'm having fun knitting them. That's all that matters. I didn't want to buy like tons of patterns if I can help it. I'd rather buy one pattern and knit things in several sizes to get the best out of it, really. My friend Rachel sent me a link the other day to the Drops website, and all their baby patterns are lovely. There's loads of free patterns, and lots of them are obviously in things like Drops Baby Merino. So I've got the yarn, and they're really, really cute. There's some slightly strange ones, but yeah, there's some really cute little patterns. So hopefully I will do some of those as well. Moving on, so in here I've just got a pair of socks going on, and yes, I wanted to, when I finished that pair of Magic Heel socks, I wanted to cast on another pair for Paul, because he was saying the other day that he runs out of his knitted socks too quickly, because we kind of do the hand wash load separately, and once he's worn them all, like he's waiting for a bit until they're washed and back. So he needs some more basically, because I've got loads. So I've started this pair in this really cool yarn. Again, it's another one that Claire gave me, and it's for a wholesale order they've got going to America, which is based on chickens, and this one is called To Get to the Other Side. See what they did there, and I just love it. It's like reds and oranges and like dark blues and greys. There's even sort of a lilac-y sort of colour on the zebra base. There's so much going on. It's a really fun knit. So you can see there, like every now and again you got like a pop of neon orange. It's just gorgeous. So I've only made a tiny start on these, but they'll be quite good for like car knitting, or you know, if I'm tired or whatever, just a bit of mindless stuff. So yeah, I like to have a pair of socks on the go, and I certainly don't need any more for myself. So try and make a few more pairs for Paul. Seeing as he's so appreciative of them, I might as well. And finally, in my very, very favourite bag from, oh my goodness, what's Becca's business called? Moth and Found. Sorry, I got there. God, I love this bag so much. I use it, I've got to have a project in it at all times, because I just love it, and it's really nice to use. Just a good size, brilliant bag. I think Becca's going to be at Wonderwall if anybody's going. So in here, I do actually have 2 whips. I've got one that's a bit of a languishing one, so I do need to pull my finger out with that. So the first one is a new one, and I slightly regret casting it on, but I'm going to stick with it. So it's this gorgeous little baby romper. Look, it's so sweet, by Little French Knits. But I did not realise, I don't think it was clear on Ravelry, that this is seamed. And like I said multiple times already on this podcast today, I don't really trust my sewing. I've never really knit seamed stuff. I don't really feel the need to, because there's so many great things knit in the round. But I was kind of too invested in it. I'd already paid for the pattern. I really liked the pattern, so I'm having to go with it, but it's making me nervous. So I am knitting this one. So this is I think it's the back. And already it looks, I don't know, it looks a bit wide. There are some, it looks like a massive pair of pants, basically. Sorry, and it's really rolling. I'm knitting the, so many pages in this pattern. The 6 to 12 months. So it is going to be bigger, and there I think there is some shaping, so it kind of goes out and then back in a bit, so it's baggier around the bottom. But yeah, it remains to be seen. So it's, yeah, so you knit the front, you knit the back, you seam it, and then you have to do like leg holes and arm holes and neck, and so it's a bit faffier than I would have really chosen. The yarn is a beautiful one that I got actually in the yarn swap at the last flock. This one, which is by Skein Queen. I had the label with the colour name, there it is. It's called, oh, I can't read that. Is it Born Blue or Bomb Blue? I can't tell. Hard to read, but yeah, it's by Skein Queen. And it's just lovely. I wasn't sure if it might be a bit too lilac when it was in the skein, but actually it's just sort of like a nice cornflower blue with these pops of sort of turquoise and almost navy in places. So I'm just going with it and seeing how it goes. If I don't like it, I won't knit another one. Or I might find a way of sort of patching together a couple of different patterns so that I can do that lovely like ribbed bit at the top without doing it flat, if you see what I mean. So I could do like maybe one of the other romper patterns, but with that cute little rib detail at the top. I'm sure I'll find a way, but yeah, I put it down for a bit because I was getting a bit disheartened that I was just gonna have to unpick it, but I think I'll persevere, but we'll see. And I'm knitting that to go with this little cardigan that I've been working on for a while. I've only got to do the sleeves, and baby sleeves are tiny, so I've really got to crack on. But it's another version of the Henny cardigan, which I've shown you before, which is by Hagen Husset. I guess that's how you say it. This one, just a nice simple fingering weight raglan cardie, and it's in this blue that I got from Lay Family Yarns, which was a one of a kind, and I just thought the colours quite sweet together, so you know I wanted to knit it as a little set. So yeah, I really must crack on with this. This pattern is really good for button placement because it tells you as you go along, when you knit the button holes, you place markers for the buttons on the other side, so you're already marked out where to put your buttons, which is nice. I think this is also the 6 to 12 month size. Yes, it is 6 to 12 month size, so knitting him some bigger things because I don't think I'll have a lot of time to do it when he comes. So yeah, maybe that might be my job for this afternoon, is to put the sleeves in that, because it's so nearly finished. Baby sleeves only take like an hour each, don't they? So I need to crack on with that. So yeah, sort of bit of a funny one that, but I'm sure I'll get there in the end. Yeah, it's just a bit annoying. Like I saw the pattern a long time ago and put it on my favourites, and then I kept sort of going back to it, and then I was like, right, I'm ready for something new. I'll buy the pattern. And then I bought the pattern. I was like, oh, it's seamed. Really annoying, but never mind. Never mind. Anyway, just a couple of little sort of acquisitions. Firstly, I'm sorry, it's caked really badly. Something went on with my winder while I was doing this. I think I need a new winder. I've got a big birthday this year, so maybe that's something I could ask for. This is Do You Think He Saw Us on DK from Bird Street Yarn. I especially requested a skein of this because I had it in the fingering weight and I made a little romper and some hats, and I really wanted his Bonbon Bunny to be made in this, so I requested some DK, which John very kindly did for me. So this is actually a new base that John's been testing, and I've got to say is absolutely gorgeous. So it's an 85% fine merino and 15% nylon, so it's a bit bouncier than their normal DK, and it's also got like much more of a silky sheen on it. It's really gorgeous. I mean, their other DK is lovely, but this is like really something special. So I'm really looking forward to knitting with this. And yeah, hopefully his Bonbon Bunny will be starting nice and soon. Maybe this might be a nice project for Easter, knitting his little bunny. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got a plan formulated in my head now. On Good Friday, I've got a friend who lives up the road who runs a really amazing cake business. She made our wedding cake and lots of other cakes. You might have seen her crop up on my Instagram. But she usually does an Easter box, so I'm hoping she does this year. And if she does, I'm going to order an Easter box for Good Friday, and I'm going to settle down with cake and cups of tea and knit a Bonbon Bunny, maybe in the summer house. Oh, that sounds like a plan. Nice one. And yeah, I mentioned earlier that Claire and John had done some like chicken themed yarns to send to America, and they gave me a skein of this one, which is called Ruffle Your Feathers, which is also on their zebra base, which is 80 superwash merino, 20% nylon. Really pretty one, this one, sort of pinks with pops of reds and orange. Really, really nice. I might have to make myself a pair of zebra socks out of this one day, we'll see. But yes, really, really nice. And finally, I've been sent the most gorgeous little present. It's such a sweet thought. So you may have seen this on another podcast recently. The lovely Jules from So Sweet Violet has been showing this for a few weeks, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, that's so sweet, I might have to knit one. And then I came home from work one day this week and there was a little package on my doorstep, and inside was this, so I don't have to knit it myself because Jules made it for us, which is gorgeous. I'm not sure what the yarn is. It feels cottony to me, not like 100%, but it's got that sort of heavy drape to it, but it's absolutely lovely. But yeah, look how sweet it is. It's going to be so cute on him. And it's got a little violet stripe, so it'll make me think of Jules when he wears it. How cute is that? Thank you so much, Jules. We were both very touched. And that will be going into his basket of special knitted things to wait for him to arrive. So that's it for today. I've got to go and do some wrapping up now of those knitted presents now I've shown you. It's Mother's Day weekend here in the UK, so we've got a few different plans with Paul's mum and my mum, and yeah, we're hoping for some nice weather and hopefully a nice weekend. So fingers crossed I'll be back. Well, I definitely will be back in a couple of weeks because it will be the Easter holidays, so hopefully I'll have lots to show you and lots of time to film. Thank you for all your lovely messages on the last podcast. Keep sending them, I love reading them. And if you don't subscribe already, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you again very soon. Take care, bye.